Okay, so I would like to do my McMorrow Law video. So when my kids were first taken, I was trying to find attorneys. And one attorney I don't believe I've mentioned in my videos, I was going to probably hire her. And I'm just going to call her Lois V. And she is a very nice person, and her father is an attorney, and she felt bad for me, wanted to help. So I was going to hire her, and then $5,000, and then my wiretapping charges came out, which I was going to have a friend actually pay. They offered to pay for my attorney, my old boss. So it's going to be Lois, and well, then my wiretapping charges comes out, and she's like, Jennifer, like, you know, and at this point I am in Yellow Springs at my friend's house, and Lois tells me, like, you know, you don't understand, like, we cannot do anything to get your kids back until, you know, you deal with this. Like, she knew I was going to jail, basically, but I just didn't think that was going to happen. And then I got Blaine Jones. So then, you know, I get out of jail, live on Jen's couch, then move in with my dad for a couple months. I have Joe Nicotero as an attorney. Then I moved back here to Irwin, and then I hire McMorrow Law. And how I got hooked up with McMorrow Law is I moved back here and I called Lois, and I remember I was in downtown Irwin at Salsa Sam's, and Salsa Sam's also has a devastating story with my judge, but not concerning custody. And so I remember I'm walking my dog, I'm talking to her, and she's like, I really want to help you, Jennifer, but honestly, I'm just being honest with you at this point. Like, I just don't feel like I'm strong enough for this case. Like, this is crazy. She listened to me forever. So she's like, I'm going to get you hooked up with these attorneys who I believe can help, McMorrow Law. And I want to call them right now and tell them everything that I told you. And I can't remember if she had them call me or I called them, but so then they became my attorneys. So I went in to meet with McMorrow Law, and they're like out in Wexford or Cranberry, and I meet with Brooke McMorrow, who she's the owner. I assume it was Brooke. I never saw her again. And I meet with this guy named Andrew. And first, like, Brooke comes in, and then Andrew comes in, and Andrew is telling me that he knows a lot about my judge, and that how she will do review hearings for years and keep kids from their mothers for years. So he said that, like, basically they, like, were telling me, like, we're going in with the game plan of getting a final order, which I should have brought this up to Attorney Jack when we were filing the recusal. And then we're going to get before the judge, and we're going to file this contempt motion, which they wrote for me. And then we're going to try to get a trial, get a final order, and then if it gets denied, we're taking it to Superior Court. So I'm like, yes, this is what I need to do, yes. And I'm telling them, like, I have, like, very limited money. I'm, like, giving you every dollar I have, which at that point was $2,500. And so then we go to court, and Alex Cabanar shows up. I'm like, this is not Brooke. Well, so they filed a contempt motion, and we already had a review hearing scheduled. So Judge Benetti's doing these review hearings, taking my kids on temporary order. She's doing a review hearing every 2 months. And so, or sometimes longer, every few months. And Gina's attorney is always trying to get it to be extended longer out to try to keep my kids from me longer. So anyways, we're going to a review hearing, which review hearings have basically been halted since March. And so it ends up, Judge Benoni schedules the review hearing and the contempt, to hear the contempt motion the same day. So Judge Benoni did send my attorneys an email with her signature saying she agreed to hear the motion for my contempt motion, emergency hearing. Or it's for emergency relief too, which is asking for money from Gino to help me and help pay my attorney fees. or whatever. So I need, he has all my money. So Judge Benoni did send my attorneys, and I have that copy, and I'm going to send it to the bar. They sent my attorneys she sent my attorneys an email saying yes, or they sent me an email about a signed statement saying yes, she will hear it. Well, then I don't know what happens because it's a closed door hearing, and all I know is it went terribly wrong and basically wasn't heard, and I got no increased time with my kids. And then suddenly they're sending me a bill for $1,883. And so I kept bringing this up to Judge Benoni. Like, I've already filed, my attorneys filed that contempt motion. You already know these things, like about my kids being vaccinated, blah, 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 blah. And she's saying they never filed it correctly. They never filed it correctly. So then later I meet Attorney Jack in the spring, and he's going to help me move forward with filing a recusal. He says that's what I need to do. And we're looking at he had me sign, get an iGEMS account, and we're looking at my iGEMS, and I'm telling him that my attorneys filed this contempt motion, and he's like, well, where is it? It's nowhere on the docket. So that's when he's like, it is their job by law. You call them right now, and you tell them they have to file it right now. So I'm like tripping out, like, whose fault is it? Is it Prothonotary office? Because Prothonotary office does this stuff to me as well. Are they just effing with my case? Probably. Now, Prothonotary office blames my attorney, say they never filed it. I find that hard to believe, honestly, because it's a step. It's just part of what every attorney does when they're filing a motion. Is it has to be filed with the Prothonotary office. And yes, so I'm trying to get my receipt. They will not give it to me, so I have all these back and forth emails. Basically, they said they sent me my file in November of last year or whenever, and they're not sending me anything else. Well, I don't have the receipt in there, so basically I will look through all my correspondence online. I have all my emails, and I will go through, and I have the fee agreement. I'm going to work on this, screenshot all these things, my emails between them, to send what the bar is asking of me. And if I do this, and take the time to do this, which I am going to today and get it over with, because it means I could possibly get my money back, which I hope and pray that I do, because I need money.